Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Starkeep Wormstead. While I'm letting my dogs run, my name is Sam. I want to talk to you guys. First off, I have to share the insanity with how liberals feel about meat. First off, I got crazy hair. First off, just got back from church, so bear with me, folks. It's hot in Louisiana. Just look at these comments, okay? Look at the comments. First off, these people literally do not believe that lab-grown or fake meat, either cell-based, plant-based, or fake meat, should be labeled. Because their intention, and they have been brainwashed, is the slaughtering of these animals. They truly believe that slaughtering animals is somehow wicked. Okay? And then to eat the meat is wicked. This is our government's fault. First, for allowing this nonsense in our country. And second, for allowing CAFO systems to even be allowed. The big ag push that the USDA did in the 60s is coming back to bite us in the bottom. Because I don't like to imagine the cows that I'm eating on my table came from a CAFO system where they have no shade, they don't have adequate space, they're fed out on corn, which is not natural to the gut biome of a cow. They're not meant to eat stinking corn, okay? The same with pigs. The fact that they cut their tails because they eat each other's tails because they're very smart creatures and they're crowded in pens, you know, all for cheap meat. Now, one comment stood out to me, and it's this one. And he says, look, Tyson, Cargill, all these big slaughtering facilities and meat packaging companies are heavily investing in fake meat. And the reason he feels they are is because they can survive packaging and growing fake meat, but the cattlemen cannot. Now, guys, let me tell you something. Do you know how easy it would be to poison a vat of fake meat? Better yet, they've got real meat cells. And by the way, these are not normal cells. It comes from tumors, folks. It's cancer cells. Why nobody's yelling that, I don't know. And why nobody cannot understand that normal cells will not reproduce like these people are telling you they will. They have to have a cell that grows out of control. And what is the only cell that does that? Tumors. My daughter literally said, Mama, it's tumor meat. Tumor meat. And the other thing is that Americans have been so far separated from the food system that they are ignorant. They're ignorant in how animals are slaughtered. I slaughter animals. Why? Because I'm going to eat it. It almost needs to go back to, if you don't grow your own food, you can't get food. So that people will grow up and stop these type of comments. They literally want to force you to go into the store and purchase meat and not know for 100% whether that is real meat or fake meat. What the USDA and the FDA is saying is that they have the opportunity. They have the option to put lab-grown meats on there. They're not forced to, folks. You might pick up that steak and think it's a real cow, and it's tumor meat from a cow. Or fetal cells. Stem cells and tumors are the only two things that will grow out of control like that. Otherwise, you're injecting growth hormones or a chemical to force it to do that. So what is that going to do to the human body? And I mean, they're like, oh, it's going to run these CAFOs out of business. Yippee! It's not the CAFOs I care about, because those are mainly foreign owned. Just being honest, they're company owned. I don't care about them. Run them out of business. But what about people like myself who care a lot about the animals that we raise, slaughter, and eat? You're going to run me out of business too? Look, do you, friend. Real talk, do you. But you're not coming on my property and telling me what I'm going to do with my animals. I'm not having it. I don't know about you other Americans, but I'm not having it. And I've had enough. I'm running for public office in my community because I'm going to put laws in the books that stops this from ever happening in my town. And all of you need to do the same thing. God told us to occupy. He did not tell us to sit in our houses quiet. Okay? He said, occupy until I return. Occupy. Think about what the word occupy means. It means to take that space up. Too many of us sit quiet. Too many of us just get along, go along to get along mentality. It's got to stop, Christian. It's got to stop, patriot. It's got to stop, American. Okay? It literally does. It has to stop. You have to start drawing lines in the sand now. Because he who owns the food controls the people. Watch this clip right here. It's a documentary that they made. I haven't found the documentary, but this is the preview to it. Watch this.
And food is a very obvious and central way to wield power.
I came across this classified cable
telling companies to go overseas and buy up food and water resources. And a lot of this is happening in the shadows, quietly.
Food has become much more powerful than oil.
How do you think that's going to end?
It's not just China, not just Russia. This is Wall Street, big money, leasing land to foreign countries. I thought maybe there might be more to it than that. Turns out there was.
I mean, it's like a who's who. It's like the MVPs of the mercenary world.
What if there's an uprising?
Pretty darn awesome, don't you think? I'm going to have to find that documentary and watch it. Just let me tell you guys something. If you can't raise your own food, hook up with a local farmer. If you don't know where to find them, Google them. Like, I'm on Google Business. Google them. Look them up on Facebook in your area. Start going to your Facebook and look up homesteading groups for your state. Ask. One person even says, oh, I think fake meat would be great for dog food. I'm not feeding that to my dogs. Are you kidding? No. There's not been enough testing done, folks. FDA and the USDA signed off on this junk way back 2019. 2019. They have been planning this for a minute because people think we need to feed cows seaweed to stop them from farting. They honestly believe livestock is causing global warming. Livestock, there was much, much more of it a couple hundred years ago because there were no grocery stores. Everybody had livestock or they starved. So how do you, if you actually believe that livestock is causing global warming, then why wasn't it hotter then? Why wasn't it hotter then? They just keep circling back to this topic. But they're sold us out. That you cannot trust the FDA or the USDA any longer with their labeling or with what they say is safe. I firmly believe that. You cannot trust them. Let me tell y'all the truth. I had the USDA NRCS my property today. Yeah. They came to do my soil samples and do videos and do a documentary on the way that I farm. They were shocked. Out of the 20 farms in Louisiana that they went to today, Samantha was the only one who did not have an entire irrigation system set up on her garden. I've got a 1/4-acre market garden that gets 14 hours of sun a day. Brutal South Louisiana sun. And I have no irrigation system set up. Yet I've got corn 13 foot tall over there. By the way, the gentleman told me everybody thinks using mulch will trap water and stop transpiration from happening, which it does, so it keeps your soil moist and cool. He said the difference with the way that I'm gardening and everybody else is that, one, I planted a lot of corn, and corn has got a really cool root system. I'll do another video on it. But basically, corn creates its own underground ecosystem, and it will actually produce its own water underground and water itself. What? He also said The fact that I planted so many blooming flowers all over my garden is another reason I'm not having to water. It's not that I'm mulching and I'm leaving cover crops over the top of the mulch and herbs growing all over the top of the mulch to make layers, and I've got roots in the soil. It's because I'm companion planting and I've also got flowers growing everywhere. He said that one thing has made a tremendous difference under the soil. It all happens under the soil, in the soil, folks. It's bare soil gardening is done. You're never going to be able to grow food like that again. They've ruined the environment so much that that type of farming is not feasible. And they're not going to let you continue to farm like that. You're going to have to transition to the way that Sam's farming. So if you guys want to get in the boat and row with us, we're going to across the Pacific August 1st through the 12th. We'd love to have you guys do that with us. Help support the fire victims. The ways that you can donate, guys, I'm going to pin it at the top of comments. I love y'all. I'm sunburnt. I'm tired. Been a long day. I've sweated. I don't think I have any moisture left. No moisture. My mouth is like cotton. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to take a cool bath. Got to love on my husband and my daughter. I cooked real beef ribs tonight. Take that, FDA. Love you guys. Have a blessed night.